Hello, this is James from Easterseals, and today this is our part 2 series of how to defend using a set of keys. Now, if you haven't seen the previous video, I would recommend going back to that because I was talking about how in general using keys as a self-defense isn't really the best idea. Now, if push comes to shove and you were running out of options, it's not a bad thing. There is a lot of drawbacks to using this. However, we are going to talk about how to effectively use it. And one of the things I do recommend is if you could get something such as a heavier object that you can attach to your keys, this is not a bad option. Once again, there is a lot of limitations to using something like this. It's probably going to hit somebody. It's not going to really incapacitate them. I would actually probably whack them and run. That's best case scenario you can use with a set of keys. This does not have any stopping power, you know. And then when you do use stopping power, it's going to do permanent damage. And we'll kind of talk about that. So once again, like I see people that have like a lot of stuff on their keys. If you can grab that and hit them with the heavier stuff that's not necessarily keys, the better. As I mentioned in the previous video, you don't want to strike too much with keys because if the keys get broken, like let's say you use your car key and your car key gets broken, how are you going to get home? Or if you have to run and you can't get into your car, that's much worse. So let's go back to how to use car keys effectively. I mentioned before that putting them like this and doing the Wolverine attack is really not a good idea. Surprisingly, the best way is to just use one key. And what you want to do, and I'll get really close, is you want to put one of your keys, doesn't really matter which one that might stick out more, one that might have a little bit more abrasive, and you want to rest it on your index finger and then press down on here. So it's like almost like you're, looking at the remote or something like that. And you want to press down. Now, all of a sudden, well, first of all, I can still kind of block with this, but now I have a little bit odd. Now, this is not going to work. This only works close range. So this is what I recommend if, let's say, you are pressed against a wall, you have no other option, and all of a sudden you grab your keys out like this. It's also something you can do pretty fast. You can get your keys and go like this, and now you have some options. This is not going to work mid-range or long range. I can't do anything like this. I'm not going to lunge in with my keys. That's silly. It's not going to do anything. This works really well close range. What would you do with a key like this? Well, first of all, before I talk about, let's talk about why this is better than like the Wolverine technique. First of all, I can scratch, and I'm not going to worry about it coming back to me. And more importantly, I can thrust into things. Once again, this is like a last resort. You don't want to provoke somebody. You don't want to like start something with a key like this. It's not going to. That's just silly. This is like if you're getting choked out, you have no other options. And what would you do with this? You can scratch with the eyes. That would work. But if you're very desperate, this is where you would thrust. I'm sorry if this is graphic, but you would thrust in the jugular. You would try to go maybe thrust into the ear, maybe around the eyes, the nose. Try to get him in the mouth, scratching him. If you just want the stomach, pulling in, like if you push hard enough, this is gonna go into flesh. Like this is a lot sharper than people think. If you're kind of going like that, that's gonna do something. This is especially gonna go around the eye. I'm even being careful on that. So if you're really close quarters, maybe get him into the neck. Right here is a perfect spot to do so. And even if their neck is down, you can still kind of make their way in. Once again, this is a last resort. I would not recommend this comfortably as self-defense. There are much better self-defense tools. Once again, I've said again and again and again. Perhaps the safest thing is pepper spray. You can use it liberally and nobody is going to get hurt in the process. Where the problem with a lot of self-defense tools is, do you want to kill them? Like I have like a metal baton. okay, it's going to stop somebody, but it's also maybe going to kill them in the process. So how much of it is really a self-defense tool and how much of it is an assault tool? And that's where you get that fine line. And that could come back to you in court, where it's like, well, you attacked them with a weapon, and if it's you say it's self-defense, but you brought in a weapon, it's going to be tricky. So you really don't want to feel safe, like, oh yeah. But this is something that you might want to practice, where, like, my hands are right here and I'm pushing against the wall, I grab my keys and I come out like this. Now I have something to work with, and I might go for the neck or something. You might just want to practice. I know when I'm walking around, I might just kind of keep it like this. Let's say I'm just have my hands in my pocket and I go and I grab my car keys. Like, let's say you're in an area that you're not really comfortable about, and you might just get this ready like this. This is not a threat. It's not like you're brandishing a knife or a weapon, but this can put you in a position where you're ready to go. So, for example, let's say that somebody all of a sudden, grabs you or something. So let's say someone over your shoulder. You grab this, boom, and then run. So, like, having your hands primed like this is better than nothing. Once again, if you have the chance to escape, run. Do not put yourself in a situation in which you would have to do this. If you can avoid it, please do. It's just liability, and this is not the best self-defense. This is a last resort by all means. Okay? So, that, I would call this more of like a fencer's grip. This is probably the best way I would recommend. Kind of slashing the eyes or the throat on that one, thrusting into the eyes, the neck, the stomach. The groin is an option as well. So our last video, which I'll talk about next, is kind of making a mid-range weapon. If you have a lanyard, this is not bad. And we're going to talk about in the next video the pros and cons of having a lanyard like this and what you can do to successfully defend yourself. So with that being said, and we'll talk about the next time. I'm sorry to give you a little bit of a cliffhanger, but that's how it is. That being said, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.